This to you live right now as this chase is happening on your screen.
Yeah, we apologize that we're working with few details right now other than knowing that this is happening, and of course it is a public safety threat as we take a look at this erratic driver making their way down a crowded freeway at rush hour. One of the things, of course, that we do not know at this point is why police gave chase in the first place. We don't know why the person who's in that SUV is wanted, but you can see that police have backed off somewhat. They are continuing to follow this driver, though, making their way eastbound on I-30. As we understand it right now, it's Fort Worth police who are in pursuit, but we could expect that as this nears Dallas and goes through Arlington on its way, that we might pick up additional departments as that SUV makes its way. Now, it looks like they're in Grand Prairie now, and it looked for a moment there like they were getting off the freeway. This person throwing caution to the wind here. You can see as they pick up speed going down I-30 now, even going off onto the shoulder and then even into the grass on the side of the freeway there. So a very dangerous situation, and we will stay with this to see how this comes to a conclusion. But, you know, you really do have to feel for all of those other drivers out there. Police really unable to, help people get out of the way because this is happening, as we speak here. And so many of these people, as you mentioned, Alicia, had no idea what's coming up from behind them here as they make their way home on this Friday afternoon.
And that's the tough part. You can't tell them anything, Jason, because you're driving unsuspectingly and all of a sudden someone comes up behind you or passes you. And this can end very badly, again, because we see the driver is driving so quickly, 100 miles an hour now. And Jason, you mentioned how the car has been going off to the side in the grass. There are at least 4 lanes, right? And this car has been off to the grass on the right, on to the far left, then the far left lane. And it's incredible that at such high speed, going very closely there by cars, not even in official lanes during this chase, this person is driving so quickly. But you see the SUV is stopping, having to slow down a little bit. There you go, almost missed one of those hazard cones there, but just driving so recklessly, Jason, really weaving between those lanes. You can see debris sort of flying past the car as it continues to drive through. Of course, we're following this all live right now with HG Chopper 8 overhead on I-30 in Grand Prairie right now, eastbound, heading towards the Dallas area. And good to see right now that it looks like there haven't been any terribly close calls, but of course that situation could change, especially as more cars then make their way onto the roadway, because we are coming up on that evening rush.
And an interesting thing there too, if this person is looking for that off ramp to be able to, throw police off a little bit more and maybe go in a different direction. You saw that off ramp that they just passed there, where you have bumper to bumper traffic getting off of the freeway there because it is such a busy time of day. And so that's definitely going to complicate things for this driver here. It's also complicating things though for police, because with the roads being as busy as they are, oftentimes we'll see them throw out like a stop stick at some point when police can get up ahead of where this driver is. But how do you throw a stop stick out there when you've got so many more cars on the road because of the time of day here? So you really do wonder how they can bring this thing to a conclusion. And boy, this person is taking all kinds of risks. And, again, let's underscore it here, not just risks with their own life, but risks with the lives of all of these other people who are just unsuspectingly driving down the road here. And of course, they're also risking the lives of these law enforcement officers who are giving chase at this point. Again, we do not know why police decided to chase this vehicle as it was leaving Fort Worth, heading into Arlington, and now has gone past Arlington, past Grand Prairie, toward Dallas, trying to get a better location on where they are right now. As you can see, though, they are making up some ground pretty fast here as they get to open road here. We're now approaching Loop 12.
That's right. And, we've been following this now live for about 5 minutes, and we mentioned to you we're still learning more information. That information continues to come in. And right now, once we hit Loop 12, this car will actually be in Dallas. So again, you see this SUV traveling at speeds of reaching 100 miles per hour. Still unclear who exactly is behind the wheel, who else may be in the car with that driver. But you see this SUV is weaving in and out of lanes, going onto the grass, going to the far left, suspect, moving at incredible speed. And as you mentioned, Jason, this is just such a major safety concern at this point because the car is traveling so fast and drivers have no idea what's going on until they see the Fort Worth police, who are currently pursuing this SUV, following closely by.
And you know, when you watch this, you can't help but think of the idiocy of all of this because you are endangering the lives of so many people here. And, you know, we covered countless police chases like this, and I can't remember one where the vehicle made it away scot-free, got away, eluded police, and nobody ever found them. They always end up being caught. And in the meantime, before you get to the point where you are going to get caught here, you run the risk. I don't know what they're after you for in the first place, but you run the risk of actually killing people as you get to the point where you're going to get caught, because it always ends that way.
It's so unfortunate. And you know, this is why in instances just like this, it's so important when people say you need to be a defensive driver. It's not so much you as oftentimes other people on the roadways. And in this case right now, it's someone who, as you said, is throwing caution to the wind, doesn't have a care in the world, because to be traveling so quickly, weaving in and out of these lanes, I mean, it's just incredible to see. And it's so dangerous when you're going this quickly and you've got so many people on the roadway too. They have no idea what this person's doing. And you can see not even in an official lane right now. This person is not supposed to be there right now.
It's really scary too, because really it's every person for themselves out there, because again, you know, we're not seeing police actually able to get up in front of this driver at this point anyway. So they're back behind, and as you mentioned, this comes down to defensive driving skills. You know, I've got teenage drivers and I'm always on them like, hey, I haven't seen your eyes up in that mirror in the last 10 seconds, 20 seconds. This, you know, obviously, can you imagine driving along and seeing this coming up in your rear view mirror? What do you do to get out of this person's way? Because obviously they have no regard for life at this point, as they are trying to elude police for whatever reason it might be. As we understand, they've just passed Cockrell Hill here, again, still on I-30 eastbound in Dallas now. This has stretched all the way across the cities here from Fort Worth, Arlington, Grand Prairie, now through Dallas as this police pursuit continues. We do know that Fort Worth police are in pursuit here. We do not know about the other agencies that may have joined in the pursuit of this dark-colored, looks like it is a black SUV of some sort here, coming up on what?
Hampton Road. We're coming up on Hampton Road right now. Again, we've been on this right now, bringing it to you live for about 7 minutes now, still waiting to figure out how exactly this chase started, when in fact it even started, but clearly it's covered several miles as it began in Fort Worth and it is now in Dallas, and we are approaching the evening rush. Several cars, we know those roadways are going to get more packed, so we're still trying to figure out these specifics. But you know, Jason, we're talking about how dangerous this is, how unsuspecting people are. You know, you can sometimes see the folks with the cell phones in their hands, but how do you even prepare? How do you even realize when someone is coming at you from behind so quickly? There's actually a police chase and you don't know what the particulars are, what that driver may have in the car with them, what the circumstances are behind the situation. So really is troubling. This is such a danger right now for folks on the roadway. But I have to say, this driver navigating fairly well considering how quickly
you do wonder though, how long can they keep this up? Because I-30 is being awfully kind to them here on a Friday afternoon at rush hour, and I don't know how experienced this driver is since they're coming from Fort Worth. Don't know how experienced they are with rush hour in Dallas, but it's not too pretty, especially on a Friday afternoon, and you're going to be coming up on some major interchanges here that might not be nearly as forgiving, and you might get hemmed in on a lot of roads like this one, where you've got construction, you've got walls, and you've got perhaps bumper-to-bumper traffic coming up here. This person, though, doesn't seem to be thwarted by much of anything. We've seen them looking like they're going through an obstacle course, going through the construction cones, now down on the shoulder there. Don't seem to really care if they get out of this one alive, or if anyone else does for that matter either. It looks like they've exited the freeway here on the service road at this point. This is where it really gets dangerous. Not that the rest of it hasn't been. Head toward Riverfront right now. I know that gets backed up, especially on a Friday afternoon. So good luck here, hopefully to everybody, to be able to get out of this person's way as they really put everyone in harm as they continue this here. This is right up on downtown Dallas.
Yeah, we're coming up in, and you know downtown Dallas is going to be a lot tougher to navigate, of course, because of those roadways. But right now the driver seems to have found a clear path, and continues to travel. Again, we're told that this person is hitting speeds of over 100 miles an hour. So just to reset for you, if you're just joining us, we've been showing you this police chase live right now for about 10 minutes, which started in Fort Worth. And right now, this driver traveled eastbound on I-30 through Arlington, Grand Prairie, and is now into downtown Dallas. And you can see the black SUV, just lost it for a second, but you see police are on this driver's tail. Again, we're told Fort Worth police have been following this driver as we approach the evening rush right now. And you can see we are in the downtown area. Fortunately, right now, there haven't been too many people in this driver's way. No. He's near Fuel City, we're told right now, and you can see now he's having a tougher time navigating, Jason, because those roadways are getting more congested. Yeah, but
it gets so dangerous here. Not that it hasn't been up to this point for sure, but you start going through these intersections now, and this person, you know, if prior chases are any gauge after that woman in the first place and why she decided to run, but she has been taken into custody. Hold 1 second. Oh, she was being chased for depositing bad checks.
Right. So those are the initial reports. Of course, more information is still coming in. So it's possibly the case where police went to confront her. She did not want to stick around for that. She got in that SUV and headed off on the road and started speeding away. But of course, you see here, Fort Worth police were able to stick with her. They were able to follow her closely. And once she got off that main roadway, Jason, once she got into downtown Dallas, that's when police were able to finally catch her. So we're fortunate that nobody else was hurt in that incident. We'll continue to bring you more information as soon as it comes in. But for right now, we're going to take a quick break.
A pursuit in Norwalk.
Let's go up to Mark Kono in Sky 5. Mark?
Yeah, Lou and Glenn, good afternoon, everyone here. He's just around the bend here coming in towards, well, let's see, the Downey area here. Southbound side of the 605 freeway transition to the westbound 105. Technically, they are in surveillance mode, so they are letting the helicopter do all the tracking here. This guy has been doing some wild things here, driving very erratically, driving very fast, and maneuvering in and out of traffic, causing very, very dangerous situations for other commuters on the road. And so for that reason, they have kind of backed off here. But occasionally he will come up on slower traffic, allowing the units to get closer up to him. But technically they are, ooh, look at this guy, look at this guy. He's going to be fishtailing, and he might actually lose control of this vehicle at some point here. We understand this is going to be a burglary suspect, a 459 suspect, now traveling through Downey, through Lakewood Boulevard there along the westbound side of the 105 freeway here. Sky 5 HD is your only source of coverage for this high-speed pursuit on the 105 freeway westbound. 105 freeway westbound. Now we understand that this pursuit initiated out of the Cerritos area here and was on surface streets for a while. Came up the 605 freeway up towards, let's see, he got off on Florence, was on surface streets for a while, then got back on the southbound 605 to the west 105, and that is where we are at this point right here. So just passing Lakewood Boulevard, this fast-moving vehicle here. Again, the units are having some difficulty keeping up with him. Again, technically they are calling this as a situation where they are in surveillance mode because of the exceedingly dangerous situations that he is putting the public in. So they are tracking this guy by the air. They are tracking him on the ground too. The closest ground units, and there are several that are in tow of this vehicle here, are, well, I'd probably say an eighth of a mile back here. You can see how fast this guy is going. Sky 5 HD, we're pulling max power here, and we're just barely able to keep up with him at this point, so he is on the gas. We are going to be approaching Paramount Boulevard. In fact, we're just blazing past Paramount Boulevard right there, and now heading over towards the 710 freeway, and it looks like he's making efforts to pull over to the right lane. My goodness, I mean, imagine that. I mean, someone driving this fast, passing you up when you're doing maybe 55, 60, 65, and this guy's easily doing 100 miles an hour here. So westbound on the 105 freeway, just now crossing over the 710, and that is where we are right now. We'll be entering the Linwood area here on the 105 freeway. Again, fast-moving guy, westbound side of the 105 freeway. His first opportunity to exit is going to be over at Long Beach Boulevard. I can tell you just by looking ahead, he is coming into an area of slower traffic. It's not too bad. It's just a little bit of slow and go. Moderate conditions. It's not like it's a parking lot on the 105 freeway westbound, but he is going to be encountering some slower traffic as we approach Long Beach Boulevard in the next half mile or so. Now, we understand a burglary initiated out of the Cerritos area. That is our best information at this time. I don't know how many suspects. Okay, here he goes, making a move over to the right. If he continues on this track, he has an opportunity to exit the freeway in about 1/4 of a mile here. Westbound 105 coming up on Long Beach Boulevard. That'll put him right in the heart of Linwood here. Let's see what he does here. He's coming up to the top of the off-ramp. He can always get off on Long Beach Boulevard or stay on the 105 freeway here. So let's see what he does. He's just now coming up on the off-ramp. Okay, it looks like he's going to commit. Okay, slower traffic. Look out, dude. Okay, he's getting by some slower traffic here. At the bottom of the off-ramp here, it looks like he may have a green light because I see opposing traffic or cross traffic ahead stopped. And so now they're going. So he's coming up on a red light. Okay, look out. Okay, northbound Long Beach Boulevard here. He made the turn, and just barely. The cross traffic, the light just turned green, and he just scooted ahead of them as they were crossing into the intersection there. But you kind of see the type of driving that this guy is showing us here. Again, we don't know how many people are in the car, male, female, anything like that. We'll try and get that information as it comes to us. But you see those windows are pretty blacked out at this point. It's a dark-colored sedan, and we are just trying to make our way through. Okay, hang on. Here we go. He's in a parking lot, and Sheriff's helicopter is right above him. And so we don't know, it's some sort of a retail outlet here, but he's just on the north side. He's just exited the parking lot here, but you can get an idea of what this guy is doing. Let me send it back down to you for a second.
All right,
Okay,
Mark
50,
Kono,
1.2.
thank you. If you're just joining us, this pursuit of a driver erratically driving high speeds. Right now, he's in some sort of shopping parking lot here, but we have seen him driving on two freeways, the 605 and the 105 at high speeds. We have a little bit of a freeze on the camera here, but this guy apparently was initiated out of Cerritos from a burglary call, and we have been following him here. A lot of the following is from the sky, not on the ground as of right now. It was sort of a monitoring situation, but he has gone through intersections. We saw him cross through with pedestrians and cyclists. He's crossed over at least 5 lanes at one point on the 105, and Mark Kono even said exceeding 100 miles per hour at times.
Yeah, after the 105, he actually got on the 710 and then made an exit onto Long Beach Boulevard going northbound. And then he's been zigzagging, through this parking lot. Now he's back on the street and back under another freeway again. I assume that's probably the 710.
I think he's on a one-way.
He was on a one-way, and now he's turned on another side street. And a lot of times, they'll head back to an area they're familiar with. I'm not so sure in this case that he's really familiar with where he is at. What is interesting, though, is he continues to drive at a high rate of speed when there's no patrol cars that appear to be following him. They're just monitoring the situation from the air. So he must be aware somehow that there was a helicopter above him, and as you see, he just zipped by a pedestrian there. Let's go back up to Mark Kono in Sky 5. Mark, he just seems like he's driving in circles here.
Yeah, here we go, guys. We are basically in Linwood. We are in Linwood on the south side of the 105 freeway here. He was going through the parking lot of the Food for Less right near the Plaza Mexico, and that's right off the 105 freeway for those of you who know the area here. But he went through the parking lot of Plaza Mexico, exited on State Street, went south, crossed over the 105 freeway, and now we are on the south side of the 105 freeway. He's put himself into a cul-de-sac, where now he is basically going the other way. He is going to be able... Oh, okay, let's see what he does. He's parking. Foot bail. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's follow. Okay, here we go. What did he... Okay. We've got 3 guys, and we have just seen that he tossed something into the car that he parked in front of. So 3 suspects on the loose in a cul-de-sac, and the LA County Sheriff's Department airship is overhead. The first ground unit is also now approaching. The additional units I can see on a parallel street are also coming in, so they are going to be able to pinpoint these guys here in very short order. We certainly hope at the very least here. So, okay, there's that guy. He's running across. The sheriff's department is just swarming this area here. I can tell you at least half a dozen units are just coming around the area here, and they are hopefully going to be able to nail these guys. I can see that they are in foot pursuit with at least one of the guys here on the east side of Long Beach Boulevard here. This guy is still on the loose, and this guy appears to be the driver, so let's see what he does as he tries to evade capture here. But the Sheriff's Department helicopter is overhead. He's actually in a residential neighborhood alongside of a home, and that's going to be right on the east side of Long Beach Boulevard, right near Louise Street. So this is all happening here where this guy is in the backyard now of a home, climbing walls, trying to get to the next house on the next block over here. But as we come around, we're going to try and pinpoint this guy and his location here. It's always a little bit difficult when we have buildings and trees, but again, the Sheriff's Department is following the driver. There he is. You can see he's starting to tire out a little bit there. So, okay, as he comes out into that alley, out of that driveway, he's just going to come across a Sheriff's Department vehicle, and he is going to give up. That is your smartest move, guy. Look at that. There's the driver in custody. So you cannot get away from these guys. These guys are really, really good at what they do, and no small part taken up by the LA County Sheriff's Department helicopter overhead, who was able to guide these guys into the right home. Guys, let me send it back to you for just a moment.
Mark, what about the other two suspects? I mean, we saw three of them run out of the vehicle. It's hard. I know you can only stay on one of them, but any information on the other two?
I've got you there. Okay,
all right, Mark,
these guys. Yeah, we've got a couple of helicopters who are coming inbound. You are only going to see this pursuit here on KTLA. Sky 5 HD has the exclusive with all of this coverage here, but this is going to be the driver here. We understand there were at least two more outstanding. I did see one that was being taken into custody. We presume that the third might have been taken into custody. We'll try and move over to that location as soon as this guy gets placed into the patrol car there. So let's go to the left ridge, go to Long Beach Boulevard, and then we'll tilt up Long Beach Boulevard and stay to the left into that cul-de-sac right there where the airship is. And so we believe that at least one of those guys is going to be in custody over here. Now the vehicle that they were traveling in is going to be just right there, that dark colored Nissan, and you can see at the playback of the video there that one of the people who got out of the vehicle put something into that SUV or that van in front and then ran off, and that was at that point they were able to catch him. But not sure about the other two suspects, but we believe that at least the one is going to be taken into custody here. But this is all happening just on the south side of the 105 freeway right here at Long Beach Boulevard here, where three suspects were giving the LA County Sheriff's Department a real fit while they were being pursued out of Cerritos this afternoon, guys.
All right, Mark Kono, thank you for that coverage from Sky 5. We will, of course, will have more details on this pursuit that you've watched with us here for the last few minutes in about 30 minutes on the 1 o'clock newscast. We hope to see you then.
They've captured 2 out of the 3. We'll see what happens with the third one.